Hi everyone, Ryan here with Fight Game Analysis, and today we're going to be talking about the upcoming fight between Leon Edwards and Nate Diaz. If you've been enjoying the content, please go ahead and click on the like button and also subscribe to the channel. Really appreciate your support. Alright, so big fight coming up here, UFC 263, Leon Edwards versus Nate Diaz. Now this is going to be the first time the UFC's held a fight that's a non-title fight, non-main event that's still scheduled to go 5 rounds. So that should be pretty cool. And they got two good guys for it. Both of these guys got great cardio. Both of them have no problem going 5 rounds. So should it go that far, I expect to see action the whole time. Let's start off, let's talk about Leon Edwards. I'm a big fan of this guy. Man, I think he is highly underrated. This dude brings a lot to the table. First and foremost, he is a very technical striker. I mean, his ground game's pretty good. He's slick. We've seen him try some submissions here and there. But ultimately, at the end of the day, man likes to keep it on the feet. And I enjoy watching him do it. Right, he comes out. Now, it's funny. When you watch him at first, you see him. He likes to stay in front of his opponent. Likes to keep that pressure going. Not like anything crazy. Not heavy on his front foot, constantly trying to back a guy up. But he stays in front of you. He wants to apply pressure. He wants to slowly but surely move forward. Yet at the same time, he's light on his feet. He's in front of you. He's moving forward. He appears to be flat-footed. You try and close that distance and land something big on him. It's nothing for him to back up, cut an angle, and get out of there. So he's quick. He understands distance well. He can control that gap pretty good. He's really technical. Very rarely gets out of position. Almost never overcommits. Almost never gets over his front foot. Really good jab. Really good he's a lefty. Really good left kick. Right? He can go low with it. He can go high with it. Knows how to land it well. We've seen him be able to back people up. Look at the way he handled Donald Cerrone. What about that nasty cut that he landed with that elbow out of the clinch? I mean, that's one of Leon Edwards' signature moves. He backs a guy up. He's landing that jab. He lands a couple left hands. Eventually, it works into the clinch. And in the clinch or on the break getting out of the clinch, he lands a nasty left elbow. Against Donald Cerrone, we saw it open the cut. Again, he landed against Dos Anjos and beat him up. He landed against Gunnar Nelson. I mean, it's a really good move that he lands against everybody at this point. I mean, you got to train for it. You got to know what's coming. And when we're talking about a guy like Nate Diaz, with just an incredible amount of scar tissue up there, over his eyes, probably around the socket. And at this point, it takes nothing for that to get opened up. Just think about his last fight with Jorge Masvidal. So always something to keep in mind. Leon Edwards is a very accomplished striker. And his cardio was really good as well. I mean, we've seen him go 5 rounds a couple times. Doesn't slow down. He's out there. He knows how to control the pace. He's not going to overextend himself. I like what he brings to the table. Standing across from him, we got Nate Diaz. Now, I'm a big Nate Diaz fan. Loved him ever since The Ultimate Fighter. Love just his style and his personality. I really appreciate the fact that the man is himself. Every single time you see him, every single time he opens his mouth, you know that is 100% authentic who he is. He's not playing a character. And how can you not love that? Especially in today's day and age when everybody's out there trying to, hype themselves up and do other things to, sell more pay-per-views, sell more tickets, whatever it may be, instead of just, focusing on the fight itself. But I guess I can't blame him. It's all about the money, right? They're out there to get paid. But not Nate Diaz. That man is 100% authentically him, which I absolutely love. But as far as his game's concerned, so, he's been around forever. We've seen him a long time, and he's getting up there in age at this point. Now, if this was a straight-up jiu-jitsu match, I mean, I'm going to favor Nate Diaz almost over everybody, right? His jiu-jitsu is top-notch. He gets out there. He knows how to control position really well, keeps himself out of trouble, knows how to get submissions from the bottom, submissions from the top, just has tricky ways of tying shit up. He's got those long arms, those long legs. He really knows how to do things. That being said, this isn't a jiu-jitsu match, and his takedowns are pretty weak. So it's not like Nate Diaz is going to be going out there and out-wrestling anybody. He's not going out there and just shooting a crazy single, just has a beautiful double leg takedown, backs a guy up into the fence, pulls his legs out from under him, and then all of a sudden gets into some dominant top position and secures a head and arm choke or something, right? Like, that's not Nate Diaz's game. That's not what he comes out there and does, which is ironic in some sense, because when the fight goes to the ground, he's typically better off than his opponent. Yet, he's not very good at getting the fight to the ground at all. When it's on the feet, stance, not good. I mean, in this day and age, with the low kicks, particularly, you see everybody going to the calf with those kicks now. Like, Nate Diaz is just a prime target for getting torn up. He's been getting his legs torn up due to low kicks before guys were even using the calf kick. Back when it was just the standard Muay Thai kick and it was just the shin right to the thigh, people were tearing Nate Diaz's legs up. And I think in this one, man, that lead leg is going to be in trouble. I wouldn't be surprised if by the end of the first round he was switching stances. Now, as far as his boxing is concerned, he's got good timing. He's got a good understanding of distance. He knows how to put his shots together. You know, he's got this style where he doesn't put a lot of power into any one individual shot, just kind of throws a lot of things out there. And then if he gets you in trouble, he'll come in and try to really crank the pressure up and then try to really land something substantial. But I don't think he's busy enough with it. He's not active enough. He doesn't come out there and really try to, you know, he'll put a pace on you, but he puts a pace on you in a different way. He's incredibly, you know, we found out over the years that he's incredibly tough. How do we find that out? Because he eats a lot of shots. So he's always in your face. He's always coming forward. He's always trying to apply this pressure. But, man, Nate Diaz is not defensively sound. You're going to be able to go out there and land big shots on him. You're going to be able to tear that leg up. You're going to be able to cut angles on him and move around and small circle him. You're going to be able to do those things. His game is hoping to wear you down. His game is hoping to go out there and just beat you up and slowly but surely just accumulate that damage on you and then put in heavy work. Right? We've seen him when he gets a guy up against the cage, gets that good head position, kind of gets that underhook on him with the one arm, and then just really starts to try to work him with the other one. Like, that's classic Nate Diaz. If it's a war of attrition, you don't want to be in there against Nate Diaz. Like, that's his thing. That being said, what's it going to look like when these two step in the octagon on each other on Saturday night? And I am absolutely going with Leon Edwards on this one. You look at the line right now, it's -500. The bookies have him as a huge favorite. And believe it or not, I still think there's value to be had in that line. That's how much of a favorite I think Leon Edwards should be in this one. His jab is on point. That low kick is going to be trouble for Nate Diaz. I mean, Nate Diaz is a lefty. Leon Edwards is a lefty. We just saw a fight with two lefties where one of them is susceptible to leg kicks and the other one just goes out there and throws them. Calf kicks particularly. Nate Diaz or Conor McGregor versus Dustin Poirier. Dustin Poirier, from the southpaw position, threw that left kick to Conor McGregor's calf, tore it apart, was able to finish him because of it. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a similar type situation here. They're both coming out of that southpaw stance. Everybody knows that Nate Diaz is susceptible to that kick. Leon Edwards has a really good one. So that's number one. Number two, Leon Edwards has a very good jab. He's going to be able to control the distance. He's long. He's young, got a good work rate, got a good cardio. Not a crazy work rate. If Nate Diaz tries to crank up the pressure too much, he's gonna force a pace that Leon Edwards doesn't really like. That being said, Leon Edwards can actually get a takedown here or there. He's really good in the clinch if he takes it there and lands those big elbows that he just loves throwing and lands on everybody. And like I mentioned before, Nate Diaz has ridiculous amounts of scar tissue up there. He gets caught with those elbows, man, he's going to get cut. That's going to open wide up. That blood's going to be all over the place. And Nate Diaz, like I mentioned, he doesn't have the takedowns. I don't see him being able to get Leon Edwards in trouble. He's not going to be able to outbox him in the hands. He's not a kicker. He's not going to be able to go out there and get these takedowns and hurt him. I mean, what's going to put Leon Edwards in a position where he gets worried, he gets tired, the fight's going in a place or at a pace that he isn't ready for, that he doesn't want, that really gives Nate Diaz the upper hand. I mean, when we think about it, that's what we saw in the last fight that he won against Anthony Pettis. Pettis is a 145-pounder, 155-pounder. I mean, really a 155-pounder. We've seen him at 145, but he's 155. But he moves up to 170 to fight Diaz. Doesn't work out well because Nate Diaz was just naturally too much of a bigger man. He was able to go out there and bully him around in that regard. Same thing when we saw it when he won that fight against Conor McGregor in their first one. He was able to eat all those shots because he was the bigger man. Then Conor McGregor was, he got worried. He got tired. He expended too much energy throwing punches. Nate Diaz was able to wear him down and get the stoppage. Look what happened when he fought a guy who was his size at 170, who knew how to pace himself and didn't get tired. Well, that was his last one against Jorge Masvidal. He was just getting torn up by shots until eventually he got cut and the fight got stopped. And yeah, I'll admit, Nate Diaz was still on his feet. Things were still he was still going when the fight got stopped. But man, he took a lot of punishment in that one. He did not look good. He was down on the cards, lost every minute of the fight up until that point, in my opinion. As if all of that isn't enough, if we're being perfectly honest with each other, Nate Diaz is a part-time fighter at this point. He fought once in 2014, once in 2015, twice in 2016, and then twice in 2019. That's it. Part-time fighters don't do well. Fighting is something where you need to stay active. Ring rust is a real thing. He's getting up there in age. Now, it feels bad to sit here in this video and just I've been feeling like I've been bashing Nate Diaz this whole time, man, and I'm a huge fan of his, and the man is a legendary fighter. I fully expect him to be in the UFC Hall of Fame one day, but this is just a bad matchup for him, man. I don't think this is going to go well. I expect Leon Edwards to get a late stoppage, probably due to cuts, eventually able to wear Nate Diaz down, just landing too many clean shots on him, tear up that leg. Just think it's going to be a good showcase for him. I think Leon Edwards walks away with this one. Let me know what you guys think. Is this a good one for Leon Edwards, or does Nate Diaz come out and once again, as a big underdog, prove us all wrong?